Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Canada Dreamers. In this video we'll talk about the Canada tourist visa and how you can write the letter of explanation for your tourist visa application. So what is the letter of explanation and what details you should include in this letter? Letter of explanation is as important as the invitation letter. Here in this letter of explanation you can elaborate the details about the purpose of visit. Like, are you coming to Canada to meet someone? Is your spouse or partner living alone in Canada and you want to be with them for some personal reasons? You want to celebrate something or attend any functions in Canada? Any emergency situations like someone is not well in Canada and you are coming here to help? You want to explore the country, or you are just coming for leisure activities? Or is there any other purpose you want to visit Canada? The second point you want to include in this letter is your ties to your home country. This is one of the most important criteria in order to make the decision about your visa application. Immigration officers who are checking your file just want to know that you will leave Canada before your visa expires. So you have to satisfy them that you will go back to your home country for so and so reasons. Here are some examples you can include to show the strong ties to your home country. You have a permanent job there. You are enrolled for any full-time courses in your home country. You have the ownership of an active business there. You own any property or asset in your home country. You have a family to take care of, like your old parents or any other dependents, or anything else based on your current situations. And the third point is about the dual intentions. So if your other visa application is in progress, like your spousal sponsorship application, then you should also include the details about your ongoing PR applications. And you intend to go back before your tourist visa expires, irrespective of the decisions on your PR application file. And then you can mention about the details like funds required in your bank account. Did you book your return ticket? Did you take the travel insurance for the visit of Canada? And any other information which could be helpful in your visa application file. I'll be showing you the details which I included in my letter of explanation, and this file is only for your reference. You can always modify the details based on your situations and the circumstances. Alright, so this is the letter of explanation on the screen which was written by my wife, who was also the applicant for this tourist visa application. Here at the top, we have the principal applicant name, their date of birth, and the application type. Then we have the title, it's a letter of explanation, and we are addressing this letter to IRCC Canada. And then we have the subject line that it is the letter of explanation for the visit visa application. So it goes like, dear case officer, firstly I would like to thank you to providing us the opportunity to reapply for tourist visa because it was my second tourist visa application, and reunite with my husband. My name is, this is the principal applicant name, residing at this country at this address, and my husband, who is also the inviter, who is on the PR status in Canada and currently residing at this Canadian address. Inviter, who is me, is also the full-time employee in Canada and works for this employer. So in these lines, what I'm trying to do is I'm just giving the background about me, which is the inviter and the principal applicant. I had also applied for TRV application on this date, and this was my UCI number. So here I'm talking about my first TRV application which was rejected, but unfortunately it was refused on this date. As per the refusal letter and the GCMS notes, the IRCC officers think that I'll not leave Canada based on my family ties and the purpose of visit. Through this letter or through this TRV application, I want to assure you that so our first TRV application was rejected based on the purpose of visit and the strong ties to home country. We also ordered the GCMS notes to get some more idea behind this refusal, and we also try to challenge those refusal points here in this document. I can make a separate video on how did we order the GCMS notes, and I think it took about 45 days to come for us. So here I am challenging the first refusal point, which is the purpose of visit. My purpose of visit is not vague in any way, and here I have explained the details about the purpose of visit and why it was important for my wife to travel to Canada. Since this was our personal reason, so I have removed those lines, and I hope you understand this. You can explain your purpose of visit here and convince visa officer that you have a very valid and genuine reason to visit Canada. My husband has also reached out to MP, Member of Parliament of his area, for the help and guidance. So we contacted to the Member of Parliament after our first TRV refusal. Here we mentioned the details about how did we contact to them and what response we received from their office. My visit to Canada will only be for this duration for the reason mentioned here. Please make sure that you try to provide a fixed time duration for your visit to Canada, like 3 weeks or 2 months, whatever. Try to avoid saying like 4 to 6 weeks or 2 to 4 months, because that way the visa officers might think that you might not go back to your home country after this duration, since this is just a tentative time frame. I truly believe that this reason is very genuine to see my husband and help him in any possible way I can. Canada is well known for helping families to reunite with their loved ones. Therefore, I request you to please consider this TRV application request this time and allow me to visit Canada for this duration from this date to that date. I promise to leave Canada on this date at any cost. This will also help us to spend some more time together and strengthen our newly married relationship. I'm attaching all the proofs for the same in this document. Now I'm challenging the second refusal point, which was based on the strong ties to home country. According to the previous refusal letter, my incentives to remain in Canada were higher than the ties to my home country. I agree that my husband lives in Canada and I have already submitted my PR visa application file few months ago. But this does not mean that any immediate family member like spouse, parents or children of a Canadian PR cannot visit Canada when it is needed the most, especially for this reason, like I have mentioned the reason before. It is not fair to always own a big land, house or property in the home country to prove any strong ties. I come from the middle class family in this country and currently do not inherit my parents' own property. So basically, my wife's parent and my parents have their property on their name, but it was not on my wife's name. I hope this is not the criteria for a spouse to prove the strong ties to home country and to get to see her husband only for this duration. Everyone is not so privileged in this country to own a property at the age of, let's say, 25 or 26, especially for a girl. So here we are just giving some more background about the applicant. I am well educated person and holds this degree from this college. I have a well paying permanent job in my home country. Therefore, my background has been very clear and I have lived by the law in my home country as well as in this country for these many days. So basically, me and my wife, we both planned a trip to UAE for 10 days. So we have given those details as well here. I'll not do anything, I'll never do anything illegal to risk my life, whole life, career, and ongoing PR application. I'll visit Canada only for this duration from this date to that date and will depart Canada to that date itself from my confirmed flight. And this is my return flight ticket details. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware about this mandate letter which was issued by Prime Minister Trudeau back in December 2021. Since this news was very new when I was applying for TRV application, I thought of including the reference of that mandate letter. As per the mandate letter issued on 16 December 2021 by our Honorable Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he has asked to issue temporary resident visas to the spouse and children abroad while they wait for the processing of their permanent resident application. We really hope that this time my application for travel visa gets accepted and I can visit my husband for this duration. I promise to go back to my home country on this date as I have a job there. I'll promise that I'll not overstay in Canada as an illegal immigrant, and irrespective of the processing and decision on my permanent resident application file, I intend to go back to my home country on this date. Below is the link to the mandate letter issued by the Prime Minister on 16 December 2021. So I'll mention this link in the description as well. I hope to meet him soon for this duration from this date to that date. Therefore, I humbly request you to please understand my purpose of visit and trust me that I'll depart Canada as per my confirmed flight ticket on that day. We request you with our folding hands to approve this TRV application and allow us to meet for this duration only. I have no intention to stay back in Canada after this date. So if you noticed that I have mentioned the duration, planned travel dates and return flight ticket details again and again here in just 4 lines. I hope you got my point here. And now here we have the details about our ongoing spousal PR application file. We have specified that we are applying under the dual intent or the family reunification. Although my application for permanent resident of Canada is in progress, I am applying for this travel visa application under the dual intent and the family reunification due to the situations mentioned above. We have already submitted our PR spousal sponsorship application on this date and we have received the below updates from the IRCC. And here is the timeline of our PR sponsorship application. Application submitted, biometric instructions letter, acknowledgement of receipt AOR, medical request, sponsor approval, medical given and biometrics given. And after that we applied for the second tourist visa application. File moved to this visa office and below are the details about the application. So these are the sponsor details, name, date of birth, address, the Canadian address and the UCI number. And below we have the details about the primary applicant. So the name, name of my wife, date of birth, her non-Canadian address, UCI number and the application number. Okay, so far we challenged to the previous refusal points, elaborate the purpose of visit, given some more background about the applicant, mentioned the information regarding the mandate letter issued by the Prime Minister Trudeau, and also mentioned that we are applying under the dual intent. Now we have some more details on the purpose of visit, strong home ties, funds required for this trip, return flight ticket, and travel insurance, and so on. So on the first point, this is about the purpose of visit, mostly same what we have on page 1 and page 2, that we had our marriage on this date and then purpose of visit. Due to the different time zones and day-to-day work responsibilities, we are not able to talk over phone regularly. So I would just need to visit my husband for this duration as I have approved leaves from my employer. I promise that I will not overstay there as an illegal immigrant and would come back after this duration because of my job. Moreover, as mentioned above, and then here again and again, I have elaborate my purpose of visit. Therefore, I would like to visit him to spend, let's say, 3 weeks together. And to do this, we are attaching all the required proofs for the same. And I intend to come back to my home country and resume my office work. I have already booked my return flight ticket because from here to there, like let's say India to Canada, with the and you can provide the flight details here. Now the second point is about the ties to home country. Since my wife was already working in India, we received the NOC letter from her employer saying that they do not have any objections regarding her visit to Canada for these many days and her leaves were approved. So as mentioned above, I am currently living in this country where I have a permanent job at this company and I have been working here since this year as a your designation. From this job, I am earning around this much money per month. I have been approved for, let's say, 3 weeks of leave for this trip to Canada. I am including my confirmation of employment, NOC letter by the employer, and 6 recent payslips with this application under the proof of funds and employment section. So we provided the confirmation of employment, NOC letter by the employer, and 6 recent payslips for her employment details. Okay, since my wife did not have any property on her name, and we also explained that in our page 1 and page 2 of this document, we thought of giving some details about her investment portfolio. This may not be very helpful for the proof of strong ties, but we tried to add as many details as we could. And then some of the family ties like parents, property owned by parents, any other responsibilities or any commitment. Then we have funds required for this trip. Here in this section, although it is not clear that how much money you should show in your bank account, but it should be more than enough to cover your entire stay in Canada. So it also depends on for how long you are going to stay or how long you are planning to visit Canada. In my first travel visa application, which was rejected, I said that I will be taking care of all the expenses of my wife, but it was rejected for some reasons. And this time my wife said that she has this much amount in her bank account and she will bear all her expenses, including the flight tickets. And in addition to that, I also have this much amount in my Canadian bank account to support her in case she needs anything. So it goes like, dear case officer, I'm well settled in my home country and currently working as this is designation and this is your employer detail. I'm earning around this much money per month from this job. I have this much amount in my bank account. My husband is also employed too in Canada and earns around this much money per month. He also has approximately this much amount in his bank account. I have attached all the detailed account statements and our pay stubs separately under the proof of funds and employment section. I'll be supporting myself financially on this trip. I have booked my return flight ticket from here to there with your flight details, and then return flight ticket would also cost me the same, this much amount. Rent of my husband apartment is this much per month. Grocery would cost us this amount, and medical is covered from the insurance. However, we have required fund to get the prescription and other medicines if needed, and around we have this much amount extra for the miscellaneous expenses during my stay. Okay, the next point is visa to other countries. So as I mentioned before that me and my wife visited UAE for few days. So we had a valid travel visa for that country. So we have mentioned that details as well here. Dear case officer, I also have a valid visa for this country and this is the visa number. I have been to this country for these many days for from this date to that date and returned to my home country, which is also proof that I do not overstay in any country illegally and always come back before the travel visa expires. I intend to do the same for Canada. I'll be in Canada only for this much duration and come back to my home country on this date. And here your return flight ticket. Then because of my permanent job and other ties as mentioned above. Now here you can give again the reference of your return flight ticket as mentioned in the detailed itinerary section. Below are the details about my return flight ticket. And the next point is about the travel insurance. So as per the travel guidelines given by the government of Canada, I have already purchased the travel insurance for this trip to Canada, which covers a detailed number of benefits such as medical, emergency hospitalization, dental, personal accident, loss of belongings, etc. The total sum insured amount is this much dollar. I took the insurance for 50,000 USD. I am attaching the receipt of the purchased travel insurance policy with this application under the additional document section. Now, the next point is about the quarantine plan and COVID-19 vaccination status. So, I'm not sure that we still need to give the quarantine plan in our application, but that time it was required due to the Omicron variant. We had also given the details about the vaccination status. So it was like I am fully vaccinated with these vaccines. I have received my first and second dose on these dates. Nevertheless, I plan to quarantine upon my arrival in Canada. My husband lives in a private apartment in Canada and I'll be living there in self-isolation and follow all the guidelines from the government of Canada. My husband orders groceries online, so we do not need to step out from our basement. My main motive for this travel is to, now you can mention your purpose or reiterate your purpose, and then I'll travel back to my home country on this date from this return flight from Canada to India. My return flight ticket is attached with this application under the additional document sections. Now the last paragraph is, as Canada is prioritizing family reunification during COVID-19 times. So this is my humble request to you to consider this travel visa application and allow me to visit Canada for only this duration. So that, and then here your purpose. I request you to consider my case and grant me a travel visa. I promise that I will go back to my country of resident after this duration, let's say 3 weeks of my stay from this date to that date. And then you can say just thank you, and you can write your name, principal applicant name, and the dates. So this was it in my letter of explanation. This is only for your reference, and please modify this letter according to your situations. If this information was helpful, please like this video and please subscribe to our channel for more upcoming videos. Thank you.